A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Soking. I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you?
I'm good.
You're okay.
Yes.
You've been lost. We haven't met for quite a while.
Yeah, it's you who was lost.
Me.
I thought you have gone into the Jimmy Wanjigi presidential campaign secretariat.
Not really. I'm not into that. I'm not into that currently. I'm here doing the Lord's work, enlightening the people and making them understand what is happening in this country. The members of parliament are outside here doing public participation on what they call the National Government Constituency Development Fund. And of course, the other one, the NGAF and the Senate Oversight Fund. These are conversations that we've had here, but this time around they've decided to do whatever they can to make these things constitutional. Raila on the other side insists, look, you cannot actually oversight yourself. He says the members of parliament cannot control all these funds. Let's look at it. You've seen the views of people.
I'm waiting to hear the courts.
Yes.
Bring the whole idea of, they were calling it some structure, basic structure or something. You see, the architecture of the house is such that if you brought down certain sections of the house, maybe to expand the sitting room or to make the bedroom smaller or bigger, or to create room for a better kitchen, the architecture may not allow you. The structural architecture may not, the structure may not allow you. There are certain things you can't touch because the house will crumble.
So there are certain modifications you can't do.
There are certain modifications you cannot do to the constitution. That is the argument I wanted to hear from the case, from the High Court and the Court of Appeal during the BBI case. But what I heard was absolute nonsense. It was about amendment of the Constitution. That wasn't basic structure. No, the basic structure are certain logical structures. Logical, mere logic. The Constitution does not even need to state. Because the Constitution says we have a structure of government where we are saying, for example, the Constitution provides for three arms: the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. Whenever there are disputes, as indeed there will always be disputes and conflicts in society, the judiciary deals with those disputes. There may be disputes within the executive, between executive and blah, 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 dealt with the judiciary. Then we say the people are exercising their sovereignty through the legislature, through their members of parliament. How do they do that? First, they represent the people.
Yes.
Okay? They represent the people. Secondly, they give government, the executive, the power to raise taxes from the people. To get revenue through taxes and other means. If you are exploiting resources, the resources belong to the people of Kenya. So on behalf of the people of Kenya, the members of parliament give the executive the power, the right, the authority to raise revenue. And more important, to spend that revenue. And the parliament puts it down clearly through a well-defined process of how that money ought to be spent. Are we together so far?
We are okay.
The third thing members of parliament do on behalf of the people of Kenya is to make sure the money which they allowed government to collect, the money which government has been told to spend in a certain way, and this parliament, it's the people of Kenya giving the executive the power to collect money through taxes and other means.
Yes.
And telling them how to spend the money. That's the people of Kenya doing that through their elected members of parliament. The third responsibility of the member of parliament, again doing it on behalf of the people of Kenya, is to make sure that money is being spent properly. To be the watchdog, to ensure when we say buy 3 cups, you don't buy 1 with the amount for buying 3. So how then does MPs join the government in spending the money? Who then will watch over government? It's logic. It's a structure you can't interfere with. The house will collapse. So Raila is just stating what is obvious. It has been stated by the High Court. It has been stated by the Appeal Court. It has been stated by the Supreme Court. The problem with our courts,
yes,
the problem with our judiciary, they are not clear in their judgment. They write poor judgments. They attacked a lady who was called Angawa. Angawa wasn't going around about the way they write their things. She was just clear and straightforward. They said she was writing badly. She was moved from the bench. I admire the way Angawa used to write. Simple, clear. Sometimes even explaining to journalists. This judgment is saying this, don't go outside there and write this way. And it is simple and clear. There is a judgment doing the rounds in social media in this country. Has been there from last week, I think. Me, at least, I saw it last week. A judgment about a Ugandan judge who brought somebody, he was posted to the UK, UN job or whatever, something like that.
Yes.
And he brought a Ugandan to work for him, using dubious means to avoid certain things, and wasn't paying her. So he was being accused, among the other things, of slavery. You have not seen that judgment, please. You've seen it.
I've seen it doing.
Why can't our judges read that judgment? And I want to make my point. Why can't the judges in this country read that judgment? Don't read it once, Mother Kwame Justice. Read it 5 times. See how a judgment is written. Even when you appeal against a judgment like that, my friend, the appeal ought to take place in 2 hours. It's over. There are no loopholes. There are no gaps. Everything is well explained. So if you are crafting an appeal, hey, my friend, you have a very tough job. And the Court of Appeal has a very simple task. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying this because even when the courts, from the High Court to the Supreme Court, have announced themselves on this CDF, they have left loopholes for people to jump up and down and try to change the Constitution. They should have made a clear judgment.
Okay.
So that nobody from Parliament will again think they can change the Constitution. So this blame must be taken where it belongs, the judiciary. And I want the judiciary in this country to stop writing illiterate judgments. Be clear in what you are saying. So if the judiciary had been clear on CDF, we would not be seeing this nonsense. Yeah. We are seeing this nonsense because the judgment, right from the High Court to the Supreme Court, is not clear.
You see, while all this process was actually taking place, the process of the public participation, I was actually keen on one member of parliament, that is the Rareda member of parliament, Otinda Molo. This is a seasoned lawyer and knows, has full grasp of constitutional matters in this country and even other external things. Look at how Otinda Molo was arguing. Why do you think that it reaches a point where even our own, the elites of law in this country, have to actually defend something of this sort?
I will tell you this. Until we put money where it belongs in this country,
yes,
as a society, we will never get anywhere. We are doomed. Money has been elevated to levels where even money itself is wandering. Kwani hawa Kenya wananichukulia mimi namna gani? Mimi ni nani kweli? Yani we have made money be something, and money can turn a fool. I mean, an educated and serious man into an idiot, a fool. You listen to an educated person, a seasoned lawyer, talking about something like CDF, and you say, what is this now? This is what money has done to people. In this country, until we get to a point where we put money where it should be, this country, this society will collapse. I've said that repeatedly. So why are you surprised that Otiende Amolo is defending CDF? Because we have MPs who are very friends of, who are friends of us. Anasema hiyo 100 na kitu ikiingia, the first thing ni kuambia wenye wanagawanya hiyo pesa, 20 million hiyo yangu kwanza ikuje before we talk. How you do it, I don't care. Whether you are paying fictitious contractors or what, but as soon as it gets to the account, I want a few millions for myself. And then progressively I'll continue getting. So that the money called CDF is used in two major ways. One, to go into the pocket of the MP and help bulge their stomach. Number one. Number two, the CDF money is used by MPs as a campaign tool. So, when you are issuing CDF checks, you expect people to clap for you, to be grateful, almost to bend over, even to kneel.
As if you're doing them a favor.
Yeah. So, I'm a development conscious MP because, you see, there's nothing CDF is doing to enrich the MP and to give him campaign mileage. Nothing else. Because the things they are saying they are doing, those things should be done by the county governments. Under the watchful eye of the MP and the senator.
Okay.
Yes. The Senate of Vihiga, the Vihiga senator should work together with the Vihiga MCS, Vihiga members of parliament, to ensure the governor, the executive of the county, is implementing projects that have come from the people through the MCS and through the MPs. And the senator is following up to make sure the money allocated to the county, because that is his task, is spent well. And he can't do it alone. He will do it together with MPs and MCS. But the CDF makes the other players envious of the MPs. Because he has a pass, he has a wallet. These guys have nothing. He wants to be worshipped even by MCS. So the oversight role is highly compromised when MPs are given the CDF money. For that reason alone, I think somebody just should move to court.
Okay.
Somebody should move to court and tell the MPs to stop what they are doing. Yeah.
Look at what they're saying here. Otiende Amolo, in his statement, he says that, look, even if what you guys are saying is true, but then even if the NGCDF wouldn't be made constitutional, and that would mean that a lot of these funds would still remain at the national government. Look, for instance, let's take, for instance, one of the projects that the NGCDF has been seen to be funding is education in this country. Education is a national function, not devolved at all. Yes. So if at all that money remains, then it goes back to the national government. And they're saying, look, it's not even the role of the counties, because you people are saying that this money should be given to the counties instead. But then the counties do not have any obligation to construct schools, build classrooms.
I thought Otiende Amolo was part of the committee of experts who came up with the constitution. So he shouldn't be saying that. And I don't think he's saying that because he's as daft as some of these MPs. That's an intelligent man, like you said. He knows what he's saying. To be very polite to him is just hogwash. If I'm very polite to him. Otiende Amolo, as a member of the committee of experts, knows very well that there is what we call transfer of functions.
Yes.
And ideally, not even ideally, the thing to be done, and Otiende Amolo must know that very few functions, if we were to operationalize our constitution, very few functions can remain in Nairobi. So I'm looking at National Treasury, I'm looking at defense, I'm looking at policy and other things, even with the ministries. Otiende Amolo will know the constitution provides for transfer of function from one level to another. In other words, the county government can tell the national government, for now, we in Vihiga are not able to run our health. Please do it for us.
Yes.
Otiende Amolo knows that. Equally, the national government can say, schools are in the village.
Yes.
How can we run schools from Nairobi? Henceforth, we are transferring education to
The
county
counties.
governments. Otiende Amolo knows that. He's not an ordinary MP. This is a bright man. And it's an insult on his own genius to say that. Otiende Amolo would know, as I do know, that ideally education must be devolved. Anywhere where there's devolution, two functions, two areas, education and health, are always devolved because they are very close to the people. So we should be looking at the next major constitutional amendment or changes where education should go to
The counties.
counties. And let nobody bring the nonsense of health is not working. We know why health is not working. We cannot use the problems of health in the counties to deny ourselves what ought to be done, which is to make sure education is devolved. But even before you do that, like I've said, Otiende knows. Another thing, as we have said before, and many people have put it much better than I can do myself, that if you look at the different pockets, I don't know what to call them, the different funds, bursary by the county government, which has been stopped here by the budget lady, bursaries from the county, bursaries from MPs, bursaries from the national government, sijui what, help, sijui what. If you look at all those funds, some people have put it, there's a lady who put it, a lady or some guy, very eloquently, I can't do it. If you put all that money together, government can offer free education. Why do you want to dole out small checks to people? And Otiende Amolo and MPs know, the country knows. That's a tool for favoritism. The many deserving cases don't get that money. It depends on how you sit well with the MP and his cronies on the ground. Otiende Amolo, and I'm sorry to mention his name many times because he's an intelligent man. And therefore, I feel sad. Otiende Amolo knows very well that in many of the constituencies in this country, the MP, in order to appear a very good person, very concerned and generous and fair, they spread the money so thin, with the students being given 2,000, 3,000. University students are given 5,000, where I come from. What happens then is a student, and I differed with the CDF management and the MP in my area sometimes back.
Yes.
About, I think 2013 there. I differed with them. I was giving a talk. And I told them, do you know what it means for somebody to be called in a school like Mangu High School? Do you know what it means for a student from Hamisi constituency, where I come from, to be called Alliance High School? And then you get a student who has been called Alliance High School, or Mangu High School, or Kakamega High School. You give them 3,000.
Or Kanga High School.
Yeah, you give them how much?
3,000.
By the time they get Form 2, they have dropped out of school. That's a serious person you have whose life you have destroyed in the name of trying to please everybody. And I was arguing, let's kind of create some kind of let's seed or whatever you want to say. Let's have categories. Let's say a student who is called in a certain category gets the entire fees paid. Because to go to Mangu is not, to be called to Mangu, admitted to Mangu is not a small matter. If a student from Hamisi is admitted in Mangu, we pay the entire fees. Alliance, we pay the entire fees. Then we keep staggering. We better take care of a few than try to please everybody, end up pleasing nobody. Otiende Amolo knows this thing is not working. So just go back to the original two. The MPs will put money in their pocket, and they'll use the money as a campaign tool to become popular, to seek support. Ideally, we must be moving towards two things as a country. One, free universal education. From kindergarten all the way to university. That's what a brain like Otiende Amolo. And Otiende Amolo has an historic opportunity as an educated, learning and intelligent legislature to push for that this country should get to a point where we are giving free quality education because we can afford it. Okay? Secondly, before we get there, can we knock sense into the funding of education in this country? Where instead of scattering so many funds, we consolidate these funds even before we give free education. The money is spent from a unitary, like for example, County Education Board. County Education Board can support schools according to their needs. Okay? And they offer bursaries. I know Otiende Amolo is not my age. And offer bursaries. When I was in school, we used to be offered bursaries by county government, county councils. I was in Sirikwa County Council. When I was in Form 1 or Form 2, I just saw I was called by the bursar. I had not applied anything. They just told me Sirikwa County Council has given you a bursary. So don't come with fees next time.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where we must go.
Okay.
County governments, together with the County Education Board, should assess the needs of schools. And they are given these funds that we are scattering over, including the money for education in CDF.
Okay.
And they assess the needs of individual schools, assist individual schools, give bursaries to needy students. That's the thinking I'm expecting from somebody of Otiende Amolo's level.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make of the response from the people who are taking part in this public participation? Because I see a number of them are saying, look, come on, this thing is good. Bring it on. Do not scrap it.
You see, first of all, sometimes it is stage managed. We know public participation. The last public participation during the Gachagua impeachment, did you see it?
Yes.
Was indeed stage managed. So one, it is stage managed. Secondly, the role of a leader is to do exactly that, to be a leader, to offer leadership. With the limited information the people on the ground have, they may not understand, they may not think at the level I'm thinking and you are thinking, the level I want Otiende Amolo to think. That level may be too high for the man and the woman on the ground. That not all good things are immediately seen as good on the ground. It's the role of leadership to offer leadership, to guide people, even to make unpopular decisions. But in future, the people who oppose those decisions will see the benefits.
Okay.
If we move towards having free education, won't that be a good thing for this country?
A good one.
Yeah.
Finally, they are saying,
that's where Otiende Amolo belongs, to push for free quality education in this country. That's where Otiende Amolo belongs.
Okay.
And the history will be very harsh on people like him. He should not join these semi-literate MPs in singing the chorus of without CDF this, without CDF. No. He should not join them.
they're saying that the only thing that we should be talking about here now is how to increase that money.
No.
Well, we are having, in fact, Aisha Jumwa's case, was it even complete? The one for embezzling funds down there, the CDF. You see, sometimes I wonder what kind of a country we are in, but then here we are.
You see, if you are to audit CDF, all the MPs will go to jail. So I don't know where we start. I think instead of arguing with these MPs, let them continue with CDF, but let's put all of them in jail. I think that might even have a better way. Let's put them in jail, all of them. Because this, even the most rudimental audit, investigations carried on by first-year law students and other junior fellows in the system, all MPs will be locked in, all of them. Maybe just a handful. There are some who are so rich There are some who are rich, they can't touch CDF. CDF is rubbish to them. But they leave other people down there to mismanage. There are people like Ndini Nyoro who are focused and want every penny, every shilling to help the people of Kiaru. Those are just a handful. That's where Otenda Molo belongs. He should be there. Use the money well now, even as he fights for the scrapping of CDF and for higher ideals. Yeah.
What do you think would be the net effect of scrapping the CDF, if at all it was scrapped? One, on the relationship between the executive and the National Assembly?
They'll go mad. They'll go mad. You saw them in Mombasa when they were saying without CDF, and then Ruto saw an opening. Then he held them something like this, akawashika hivi. Akaambia AG sema, even despite what the courts have said up to the Supreme Court, CDF is not unconstitutional. They lost their voice. From the moment Ruto, using advice from the AG, went against the Judicial and allow MPs to continue getting CDF, the MPs had lost their voice. Completely. They cannot face Ruto. They couldn't face Ruto. Because he had touched them somewhere. So those are some of the reasons why we are saying we need independence of parliament. And so long as they will be beholden to the executive because of things like CDF, then that independence is highly compromised.
Would that also affect the kind of leaders who would be attracted to the position here?
Yes, and there are a lot of idiots in parliament who would not be there if it was not for money. So removing CDF is one way of ensuring that we begin to get quality leadership. There are many people who would not go to parliament today if there was no CDF. Take it from me. If it is now ruled permanently, there's no CDF. No beating about the bush. There are many people who are campaigning now who will stop campaigning. They will not stop. They will not campaign. They will not stand in. They will not run in 2027. Number two, if we abolish the Parliamentary Service Commission, PSC, that allows employees to set their own salary. What an awkward arrangement. Where in the world do people sit down to set their own salaries? And the crazy spending of parliament. If we abolish the Parliamentary Service Commission and let MPs earn salaries set by the national government, and we reduce salaries to reasonable levels, we say you are an MP, how can you possibly earn more than a doctor or a professor? So we shall give you so much. This is what a professor is earning. This is what a doctor is earning who has worked for so many, a consultant, a physician. This is what an expert in this geology is working, director of geology. So there's no way you can earn more than those people. So we give them 200, 300,000. And we say you cannot get allowance, sitting allowance for doing the job you are paid to do. So no sitting allowance. We shall be moving closer to getting quality leadership. Because then people will only go to parliament because they have a calling. Because there's something that is driving them to change this country, to improve this country, to move this country to the next level, to make this country a beautiful place to live in. Those are the people you'll end up with in parliament. But so long as we have CDF, so long as we have crazy salaries for MPs and allowances, only crooks will go to parliament.
Well said by Professor Herman Manyora here. Ladies and gentlemen, you wonder why your members of parliament spend over 40 million during the campaigns. And then you think that it's just for the salaries alone. Let's wait and see. They're still fighting for the CDF. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okini.